welcome back to another Daily Dirty. Your host, John Croft. So, I did a podcast a while back about job interview that I put in internally for my current company I work for. Now, I did a podcast about it earlier. I didn't submit it because it was pretty angry. My wife was hearing me in here cussing and hollering. Oh, excuse my attire. It's bum day, laundry day. But needless to say, I got the generated email stating that they decided to go with another candidate. I already knew that was going to happen. I mean, I kind of get to that point when you're trying to move to another role internally or externally, and you just have that feeling that you're just not going to get it. I mean, you put your effort into the interview and things like that, and it doesn't always go according to plan, apparently. So this rant, it was pretty bad, and I mean, it was funny because there's some funny shit in there, but at the same time, it's like it's going back to where my wife basically tells me you put too much thought into that, you put too much energy into it. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not, you know, it's not about going to it not having confidence that you're going to get the role. It's rinse and repeat. 17 internal job interviews in 3 years, and I'm still in the same position. Now, it's kind of one of those things. Is it me or is it here? Now, before I worked at my current role, I was a contractor. And if any of y'all been in IT, you go in and they want to know if you're qualified. They pay you amount of money to do the job. You go in, you do the job, you move on to the next contract. Summer contract to hire, which is how this job started, and I ended up getting hired on. I've been here over 8 years. So the rant was just basically kind of going through of how people are treated and all this other kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to post that. One, I still work here. I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to see my podcast or not, but by some odd weird chance of my luck and shit, which I've heard my podcast, if I didn't have bad luck, I don't have luck at all. So all it takes is one person to be like, oh, did you see what John Croft said? Oh, wow, that's slander. We can't have that. Let's find a way to fire him. Because that's just how corporate is. But I wanted to end this series because I had part 1 on the job interview and recruiters. Yeah, I want to do something different though. I want it to be kind of positive. I think, at the end of the day, I can blame it on a lot of different stuff. I mean, it could be me, it could be a bunch of different things of what skill set or my vibe or, it could be a lot of different things. So I'm not going to complain about it. I knew going into it that there was a strong possibility I wouldn't get the role. This was a senior role. I'm not a senior engineer. I mean, I have been before, but not here. It takes a special, I don't know what it takes. I mean, I can sit here and speculate all day, but I'm not management. I'm not the hiring manager. I'm not the people that interviewed me. Circumstances are circumstances. So just wanted to talk a couple minutes so I can end this series. It I didn't get that job. I didn't get the other job that was external either. I gave up on trying to reach out to them because it's just, you know, just wasted energy. You know, um, I'm not gonna post the other one. Like I said, it was had a lot of cussing in it, and it was just me venting. It's just not healthy. It was healthy for me to do it, but it's not healthy for me to post it. You know, everybody's feeling the strain of a job, and I got to be thankful for what I have. No, it's not the ideal job. No, it's not the ideal pay, but it does make us enough to where we can survive. And that's just how it's going to have to be for right now until, something else gets figured out or something else comes along. Mm. So, uh, I think right now for this year, I'm just going to kind of lay low, not put any jobs in for right now, kind of get a couple of things figured out, see how the job market looks next year. Uh, the response that I got is just like again generic, just basically saying that after careful consideration, they decided to go with another uh, applicant, and good luck on your future job search. Basically. So it is what it is. I was a little upset about yesterday. It's not. I'm not going to rant, but the biggest thing is integrity is hard for me because I'm an integrity person. I'm old school. Gen X are all about if you say you're going to do something, do it. Don't BS a BSer. You know, and I feel there was some fuckery that went on, but it's what's that phrase they say? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, thinking you're going to get a different outcome, and that's what this situation is. So for now, I'm just gonna lay low. I'm not gonna really worry. I'm not really gonna worry about. I'm kind of parched. Pardon my excuse, please. So sorry. Oh, that's delicious. Makes my tongue tingle. But yeah, laying low on that, and I'm not gonna rant and cause a big scene and blow up and things like that. Just kind of chalk it up to it is what it is. Um, this podcast that I'm doing, I want to kind of concentrate a little bit more on that, and it's not that I'm trying to get a ton of followers or whatever. It's trying to figure out what lane I'm in because there's days that a lot of funny stuff happens. But there's also days that I just want to talk and tell people, what I go through mentally with things and hoping maybe it might reach somebody that's having that same thing and kind of uplift people. I love making people laugh. You know, if anybody knows me either at work or at home, is I've always tried to make people laugh and make them feel like they're valued in within my life. And I did that at work for a very long time, and it's so my wife had told me that the people at your work they don't really care, and it's rang true. You know, there's a few people that I try to help out, and it just put me further back. And I always want that feeling at the end of the day when I get off work that I was actually able to help somebody out, or maybe they help me or I help them in some kind of way. And it's called teamwork, and there's just not that. There's none here. There used to be, but there's not anymore. And it's not just here; it's everywhere. So expecting that to come out, and me being that one guy that always speaks up and I can't be that person anymore. Nobody has your back, you know, and I can't really blame the people I work with. I mean, I can, but the podcast that I had was just very raw and dirty. It was dirty, dirty. Like, man, there was a fleet of buses running motherfuckers over. But all of it was true. I'm not gonna lie. It's integrity. You know, I told my wife that. I was like, the problem with me is growing up is you don't lie because motherfuckers will find out, and that's worse. You know, I have integrity. I'm not a good liar. You know, I always, when I'm wrong, I admit it and I correct it the best way I can. And that's how I am at work. If I did something wrong, I didn't knowingly mean to do that, but when I'm told or I realize it, I'm like, oh wow, okay, I apologize, that was wrong. Let me fix that. And that's integrity to me. You know, if you're wrong, you don't just blame it on somebody else. You take responsibility for your BS. You know, you take responsibility for your actions. And I don't know why that's so hard for people. You know, just own up to your BS. You know, even if it's not BS, just if it's a simple mistake. I mean, it's not about the mistake, it's about owning up and being able to grow from that. And if you're constantly stepping on people and just blaming everybody for your BS, and I can sit here and people can say I do the same thing. The difference is proof to be able to validate, well, this is what you said then in writing. And you're saying you never said that. But I have the proof. And then they just change the subject. There's no integrity there. So just wanted to make a quick podcast to finish up the job interview series. I didn't get the job, apparently. And like I said, I was a little upset, but I think I'm over it now. I love talking to my wife about those things. It used to be way worse. I'd just shut down and just get real negative. That wears you down. It makes you look older than you are. All that stress and anxiety. It's not healthy, man. It's not mentally healthy, and it actually starts hurting you physically. You know. So moving forward, I think I'm just gonna take a break on that. I'm not really looking to get more certifications. I got so many certs. I'm just tired of doing it because I'm already way overqualified for a lot of jobs for some strange reason. That seems to be the trend, or they can't afford me, or I'll get bored. It's just like, oh wow, you've known me all of 5 minutes, and you already know that I'm going to get bored. I'm not you. I don't get bored when I make double what I'm making now. You know, I'll find something to do. But it is what it is. So I'm kind of researching and trying to figure out where to take this podcast. I do enjoy doing it because like I've said previously, I love talking. I love kind of putting just that raw emotion out there because I do want to see if I can help other people or people may be able to help me out and getting this out there without all the, you know, fake crap that people put out in podcasts. I mean, it's so fake. And I don't quite understand that. I mean, fake sales, I guess. And that's probably why mine isn't really doing good right now. And it's just starting out. I'm not giving up on it because I'm not a quitter. You know, I'll quit this job in a heartbeat though about another motherfucking job, but I'm not quitting this. I had a good buddy of mine, Sean, that he's probably going to listen to this one. This guy, speaking of interviews and jobs, I had worked at this place, and I can't even remember the name of the place, honestly. He remembers it, but I think he's still there. And I was a contractor. And the funny thing about this job is when I went in, the guy that I was replacing was actually in the hospital dying, but because he was an alcoholic, his liver failed. Uh, and they were replacing him while the guy was still in the hospital dying. If that should tell you anything, I mean, there should have been a warning then. The staff and everybody was really cool there. I liked working there a lot. It was a desktop support, and even the internal recruiter tried to get me hired on, but for some reason it just didn't work out that way. I got into it with one of the guys that's one of the managers out in UK. This dude was like this freaking short. He got in my face one time when he came in because I was saving the company money. You know, they were whoever did it before was just I don't know if they had a side gig going or some shit, but I cut like millions. I wouldn't say millions and millions. Probably about $2 or $3 million a year on 3 or 4 phone carriers. One that I had hookup because I used to work there to make it better and cheaper for the company. You know, and I don't know what this guy from UK. I can't remember his name to save my life, but the dude maybe had short man syndrome or some shit. He came in talking smack and get in my face. I kind of stood up and I was just like, man, we do things differently here in Texas, buddy. Let me tell you what. So that might have been why I didn't get hired on. And I was more of an angry person then than I am now. So Sean Jackson, they brought in him, and then when it was back then, it was all about paper. Now, don't get me wrong, Sean is probably one of the most amazing admins I've ever seen. I'm not an admin. Just my brain don't work like that, but it's incredible the things he can do on the admin side, and amazing. He wasn't quite up to par on the hardware side, but I was a little upset, not at him, but at the company of like, okay, so I'm already doing the job, so you're going to hire somebody that I got to train to do the job I'm already doing. And I think I was only making like $19 an hour. And I was like, man, just keep me at $19 an hour. Because back then that was pretty decent money. No, yeah, I guess it just had to be me. We're going to use you and then we're going to put someone real in there. And I was upset, but this guy, Sean, comes in and he's just got that personality. You just got to like him, you know? He's just how his personality is. He's just that one guy that everybody likes, you know? So, fast learner, just sharp. He's really good engineer. I'm not just saying that because he's the one that taught me into doing this crap. It's just I know he knew that I was kind of irritated the fact that I was training him to replace me. I might have said that to him a couple times, but it was about him personally. He had to have a job too, so he was in the right place at the right time. He had the right good skill set to get in, and he got the job. He's still there. You know, this is I don't know years. This guy been 15 years ago. I don't know. I got to retrack all that. I've worked a lot of jobs, but I think the company was called Aircom. It's changed now, I'm sure. And basically, it was a cell phone company. They take cell phones and they went to these dark rooms that was top secret that you couldn't go in there and just test the cell phones and stuff like that. Cool company, you know. And like I said, the staff was really cool. Had no issues with them, and I did a lot of good things at that company. But at the end of the day, I think they got the right guy for the job. Sean was just easygoing. He can get along with anybody. You know, I got along with a lot of people. So the guy from UK, that guy had the audacity. The guy in UK tried to add me like a couple years later to LinkedIn. It's just like, dude, seriously? No, I'm not adding you to my LinkedIn. Kiss my ass. So, Sean, thank you. You know, he's hit me up like from every now and again. I hear from him. Man, he tries his best to kind of help me out any way he can. I don't want you to feel bad that you know that you got that job. You know, don't feel bad. You got to do what's best for you as well. I was a different person back then. I'm not that person anymore. I was just upset at the fact that I was already doing the job, you know. But he's still there, so they made the right choice. I don't know if I would have lasted that long if I would have had to deal with the short guy from the UK. But uh, he hits me up from time to time, tries to help me out, told me I should do the podcast, And I kind of thought about it, but not really. I kind of want to do some YouTube. I tried to do a YouTube channel that just kind of hasn't panned out either because I love building cars. And the time I had my wife's meeting, we had another meeting, and I was going to build it. It's just the environment that I live in. And there's people that are in my environment that are able to do that. They're a lot younger than me. I can't continue to get up and down and gravel and shit to work on cars. My body is not a young body no more. But he hit me up and was just like, hey, man, I know you're having some hard times getting a job and things like that. He was like, but, you already do podcasts, man. I think you'd be good at it. I was just like, I don't know about all that shit. One, I don't like being on camera. I love talking, and I think I'm funny, but not everybody's going to think I'm funny. Some people think I'm funny, but I just talked to my wife about that. And I was like, I guess I'm just not funny. She's like, you're funny when you're not trying to be. What kind of shit is that? It makes sense, though. It makes a lot of sense, But I wanted to finish out the series, and I've got to do some brainstorming to see where I want my podcast as far as my audience to go. I like the comedy part, but comedy is just, it's so, I don't know how to explain the comedy section in podcasts because I have a little bit of everything in my podcast. That's why I just wish Spotify and these other companies would put something that's just something general or miscellaneous, because I don't know where I belong in that arena or what, where I should be at. Since sometimes it's comedy, sometimes it's venting, sometimes it's just, like, this is the shit I got going on in my life. If you have the same thing going on, this is what I overcome, or what did you overcome, and how did you do it? And I don't know if that's self-help or motivational, and then it's talking about podcasters that are just so full of shit. It's like, man, people actually listening. How you get so many subscribers? I mean, you're full of shit. I mean, yeah, you got the bells and whistles, and you spend a little bit of money that mama and daddy probably gave you, to make your thing. Or, we didn't grow up with computers hanging out our ass, come out the womb with a freaking cell phone and shit, Even though I'm IT, but I'm not an admin. I don't do software. I'm a hardware guy. So I didn't want to make this one real long. It's kind of short and sweet. Finish up the job interview. I didn't get it. It is what it is. I got to move forward. Like I said, there's a lot of people out there that's not getting jobs. I got to be thankful for what I have. I still have a job. So I'm going to switch up my podcast and kind of figure things out. I mean, I'm going to keep the same as the Daily Dirty and kind of go through and do some research on some other podcasts. And I mean, I wish I knew somebody that's not going to charge me an arm and a leg to kind of help me fine tune some of my stuff. It's just, I mean, I just don't have time to learn that on top of everything else I have to learn to find another job. It's a lot, and having ADHD, my mind just doesn't focus like that. Hoping that I can get something figured out. I try to put as much content out that I can, but I don't want to pull it out boring bullshit, even though my bullshit's not bullshit. It's true and factual, integrity. I just got to figure out what lane I'm in and kind of tweak a few things a little bit. And maybe this is boring for some people or not. I want to do a podcast with another person that's just not working out right now. It's not that easy. Honestly, I think the frustrating part is you go back and you watch your video or listen to yourself if you're not having a video and you're just like, God, man, I sound like crap, or I'm doing that, or I'm using the same words over and over and repeating. And Other ones don't do that. They would go in and cut all that out, and it sounds, like it's perfect. I don't want to sound perfect. I want to sound just me. I think, some viewers out there want to see somebody that's just raw, that's not trying to blow smoke up your ass, that's actually here talking to you as a human, where you can relate to some things, and if you can't, just maybe like, man, this guy's an idiot. I thought I was an idiot, but this guy makes me seem smart. Anything I can do to kind of help somebody out, and that's what I want to do. I want to help people out, and maybe people got more issues than I have, or maybe I got more than others. I just think that I kind of want to have comedy with some of those things of trying to be inspirational for others, or to show what kind of has helped me get over a lot of obstacles in my life. I've been through a lot, and I'm sure there's others been through way worse than I have. But it's easier for me to talk about it after, my wife. I learned things from my wife to where I can be more open with some of the things in my past that's helped me talk about it in order to overcome it and not block it out and cause issues within our marriage or within my everyday life now. And that's why I call it, she say we should call this daily dirty, because it's just daily dirty, man. Just raw crap that you have to deal with every day. But anyway, I'm going to work on that. I will post this one up today. Anybody that's out there that cares or listens or anything, and I'm trying to start putting these in my videos, for the podcast, is if you have corrective criticism, just tell me. Don't bring me no bullshit, because I'll ignore you. I don't need someone to say, oh, well, you gotta sound better, or oh, hey, stop cussing, or hey, you know, maybe you should do this because it works for me. I don't need none of that shit. If you're like, hey, I'm talking honesty, integrity. If you just want to blow it up to be a hater, I love haters, because the more haters I get, the more subscribers I get. So, and if you blast me, just be prepared that every action has a reaction, because I will blast you back. Just be prepared. You know, you gotta understand, Gen Z people, we have, no, I'm not Gen Z, I'm Gen X. I was born in 74. Yeah, Gen X people. I don't really care about all that shit. I just know we have tough skin. And if you want to cut down where, yeah, you can get your feelings hurt. So be prepared for that. I invite you, but step to me correctly, or I'm going to step to you incorrectly. Action, reaction. But anyway, I'm going to let this ride out. My next one should hopefully come out a little bit more positive, hopefully more refined a little bit. Hopefully I get some people that will reach out and kind of give me some advice, true advice, not no bullshit. Or if it even helps you, you know, or if it even made your day worse, I don't care. Just hit me up. That way I can kind of get the ball rolling on this to where it could be something that I enjoy it, and I want other people to enjoy it too. So have a great day. God bless. Daily Dirty out.